Welcome to Landria Unka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. Hopefully the sun won't do weird stuff on my face here. I'm having my breakfast. I'm cooking 2 French spinach Parmesan quiches for my neighbors who just had babies. And I'm making some little biscuits, and so I'm going to talk to you and have my coffee on this beautiful Sunday morning. I had a very interesting dream last night, another insightful vision. I want to share it with you because I want you to understand exactly what kind of control you have over your life right now. It may not seem like it, especially when you start to have thoughts and you feel like you're not controlling them when you actually are, because they're simply a buildup of residual energy and experiences and everything else. So they just don't go away, immediately. It takes time because you have choice. You've built them up over years along with the collective consciousness. So, to just go, okay, I'm just going to get rid of these unless you have a spontaneous awakening, it is part of it, our challenge here. So it's like, when your ego starts to understand that you're no longer going along with the thoughts, that you're actually going to start changing those thoughts, it will start to relearn and say, okay, that's not working anymore. But until you do that, as long as you fear it and fight it, it continues on the path that it's been taught. And I told you, the ego is your friend. It's what's been conditioned all these years, which is on a lower frequency, but it's still your friend because it's who you have been up to this point. It's who we all have been up to this point. And so now look at it as like a sad little thing that has been taught some bad habits that just needs to be retrained. And sometimes that takes a while. I took on a rescue dog. Oh my gosh, if somebody walked in the house, he'd pee all over the floor because he's petrified. And he didn't know what stairs were. And I had to understand that he had been trained to act a certain way, and I couldn't possibly be upset with the poor little thing. So I had to teach him what a walk is. He didn't know what a walk was. He just stood there. And so, what are stairs and what's a toy? You can actually play with a toy. He didn't know how to do that. My Jack Russell had to teach him how to do that. So there are fun learning experiences along the way that say, okay, that doesn't have to exist anymore. I can come over to this completely different reality, but I'm going to have to retrain my ego and everything it's learned. If you can think of it that way, it's not so painful. Instead, most of us think of ourselves as the ego, and there's this other part that suffers from those thoughts. So it's like this duality. Yes, because the true you does not resonate with that. So it's a battle because it makes you feel bad, or it tells you stuff to make you feel bad because it thinks it's protecting you. So don't put too much thought into this. Just realize it is there. Don't react to it. But I want to share this vision I had with you because it's really interesting, because it's sort of, it matches something that I heard not too long ago. I realized that this was a little bit similar to something that somebody had told me a while back. I had a dream, a very vivid dream, mostly in theta state, where I was with several people, and they were all very clear about how they wanted this reality on the planet to go, along with myself. I was very clear on that. And, okay, this is going to be tough to explain, but I want you to realize this. Reality in the dream, or let's say the foundation for reality was everything. That the space and the planet, I saw space and the planet as constant, just over the top, crazy probabilities, all there, waiting, reacting to everything, going along with the directives it's given. It's constantly just doing, and probabilities are available. All of this is here. It's all here. It's happening at all times. We're so connected to it. We are that. So it's reacting to us, and we're not seeing it. And things happen in our lives, and we're going, what is this? We're stressing. you're actually connected to every probability, and you keep changing these things, and you stress, and then you change it over here, and then you're happy, and then you change it over here. So I want you to realize that everything around you is just constant creating, expansive, non-thinking, unlimited, power beyond your imagination, probabilities, creation, expansion. And that's the fun. It's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to be having a good time with this. But we've created some really stupid ideas and thinking and beliefs when we came here. And then you and I came here to try and break through that and change that and go back into what we know is true. And that is we are unlimited beings. All right. So all these probabilities existed. And every person in the dream that was really powerful, that was in a really high position, like was really controlling their manifesting the way they wanted to, creating their own realities, had a sheet of like glass that laid on this endless probabilities. You could see through it, but this glass represented the reality that they created within this total expansive space of probabilities. It was a piece of, well, there is no such thing as time, but it was a piece of a moment in time and decisions and choices that were laid over this expansive probabilities so that there was something created from it. Instead of most of us go through life and it's just this random stuff coming. There's no plan, there's no, there's no chosen reality. It's just a random reality, and everybody's frustrated because they don't know why that's happening. But all the beings, including myself, had a very clear reality. Isn't that interesting? Glass. It was glass, but it was it was almost like we're just creating it. It was almost not even real. So these pieces of glass, I thought, oh my gosh, it's so obviously clear that these people have created the reality. They knew it. They had it here as this was their life, this beautiful glass, and it represented a very clear, controlled, created reality. And they were living it. They were living these awesome, powerful, beautiful lives, including myself. And I thought, I have that. I have that glass that is on top of this expansive, endless, unlimited probabilities universe. And that's where I'm creating my own reality here. Otherwise, it's just randomness out there in space that could be extremely creative in ways that you don't want because you don't have your foundation. You don't have your reality laid on your foundation. I should say you have the foundation. Everybody has the foundation. The foundation is endless probabilities. The foundation is everything you ever wanted is available at any moment. The only time it takes time in this linear time planet that we live on is when things have to line up for us. A certain person has to be here to meet so-and-so, to get on a plane, to go here, to sometimes things just have to line up in our linear world. So it may take, maybe it takes a few months for that ideal person to decide they want to pack up and move to your state or your city. So I really, it blew my mind when I woke up. I went, oh my gosh. The people that are creating their reality and living it, they understand that they're just a overlay on endless probabilities and that they're actually controlling that. They're choosing. They're making choices. But that reality is clear. I don't know if this makes any sense to you, but that clear, to me, it represented clarity. It was clear. And it didn't block anything. It was open. You could still see everything. But it still was a sheet of glass that represented events, people, joy, whatever they, or experiences, maybe some challenges that were going to help them grow. They had it lined up. And then everybody else was on trains that were breaking down. That was happening. Getting lost in vehicles and just they were all over the place. Massive amounts of people that were in areas that were not flowing and not functioning, and they couldn't get to where they wanted to. So some other things happened in that dream were pretty outstanding that I was really feeling awesome when I woke up. I was like, wow. Wow. So I met somebody at the Joe Dispenza advanced workshop, meditation workshop that I went to for a week, who shared an experience that she had during a ayahuasca event. Ayahuasca is a hallucinogenic drug that supposedly opens up gateways to, I don't know, whatever. I have no knowledge of this. I've heard of it before. I hear it's very dangerous. It has to be administered by people who know what they're doing, but that it can do some incredible, it's almost like a near-death experience where you actually go to the other side and experience all kinds of things. Sometimes people meet beings and light beings, or they get answers to things and healed. She actually got healed. She came back and was healed spontaneously. She understood things, and she said what she understood. She went to the other side, and she said that there was a wall, and this is interesting because I didn't think about this till later, of slabs of glass, very thin, beautiful glass, and she said they all represented people's realities. And she said you could take it and pull it out and look at one and put it back in and pull this one out and look at it. And that was someone's reality. They had created that. It was a piece of reality in this endless foundation of all creation, all probabilities. And she said it just represented the reality that we chose. And by the way, this reality is constantly interchangeable. You can change choose a new probability. You can change a new reality. If you're living the life you thought you wanted, and now you're realizing that's not the life you want. Maybe you thought you wanted the big house and all that stuff, and you're there now, and you're saying, this isn't happiness. In fact, it's a burden. I learned. So then you become a new person, and you say, this new me that I'm choosing no longer needs these things. So then you make new choices. Then you get to choose new probabilities. So it's not like this glass that represents your reality is unchangeable. It is absolutely changeable. So I want you to know that it's up to you to create that beautiful piece of glass, that clarity of what you want, because you will be able to see everything through it. It's a gateway. It's a foundation on the foundation of probabilities. It's your chosen reality within this. It's like a matrix, right? Everything's available and happening, and you get to pick this. Instead of being thrown into the abyss, somebody asked me what the abyss is, the nothingness of everything. Just the nothingness, blackness. There's nothing going on in the abyss. It's endless. It's like a pit you fall into. There's no bottom. You just keep falling. There's no answer in the abyss. You're lost. So when you decide that you're going to create your reality, I want you to envision, or maybe you have another idea of this, you want to have another vision of a piece of glass that represents your reality, and that all probabilities, everything around it, can be pulled into this. And the glass represents the clarity of the ability to still see all the other probabilities and to pull them in and create that. So there's something solid about glass, right? You're not just floating around anymore. You have the clarity, but it is a chosen reality. And you have that power. And everybody in my dream that was super powerful and abundant and joyful and very confident, they were all so confident, they were almost like royalty, had this glass. And they were like so clear about what it was. They knew what it was. This is their reality. This is what they were living. There was no doubt in their mind about what that was, or well, what those choices were, about what they wanted to achieve. So, can you create that? It gives you some stability, but it keeps your clarity and your options open, because you're going to change your mind along the way about what you want, because you're going to be growing, because your soul, your frequency is going to be raising. You're going to be going to better places once you learn that the material world doesn't make you happy. You had the stuff. Okay, now let's move on to something else. It feels good to maybe give to other people. Or maybe now I need to, do something else with my career and my life. You know, I have internet training. At the end of this video, you see stuff going out here. It's Landria's Inspiration. That's just daily. Every few days I send you ways to help shift your energy and inspire you. But at the end of the video, you're going to see two little things come out here. And, are you living your dream life? I found internet training because it was my way, like I'm doing here now, of reaching global markets. From your message to sell things and earn money on the side so you don't have to go to a 9-to-5 every day, to stop driving, to jobs, physical jobs, when you can actually launch things online. It teaches people how to do that. And yes, you do pay for it. Of course, it's school. People people work to keep that going and train everybody. It's an awesome, awesome school, an online education, and it actually gives you your own products and services. There's so many choices right now for us. And the world is just accelerating. Technology and spirituality. When I say spirituality, I mean clarity of our spirit is accelerating at lightning speed. Lightning speed. You don't have to understand it all. You can sit and ask questions all day and you still won't know. You know why? Because human beings do not have the capacity to understand anything. There's a reason for that. If we were that all-knowing, all-seeing, clarity, beautiful beings, we wouldn't be here on earth in these dense bodies. We'd be off in, some etheric, beautiful place as light beings, which we are. So, imagine that you have a beautiful piece of glass and that represents your reality. And you're very clear on what it is. And that through it you get to see every beautiful option that's available to you. It's all still open to you. You're not blocking yourself off. A lot of you have walls. You can't see through those walls to any of the probabilities. And you're banging up against the wall. And you feel like it's concrete, you can't change the wall. Break down the wall. There's a beautiful reality there waiting for you. And I share this vision because even though it sounds a little out there, in the dream it was so clear. It was so clear what this was. No pun intended. Everything was clear. Then I had one of those pieces of glass. I had mine, and I looked at other people who did, and I thought, oh my gosh. There was no doubt in our mind that we were in charge, and that we got to choose, and that it was endless. And then we looked out at this beautiful universe and said, oh, wow, wow. We have the power to choose any of this. We are that. I felt like I was all that I wasn't picking and choosing, that I was that. And that this was just this existence here. That is true for you. But you just have to be clear on it. And let all the other thoughts and doubts and limiting beliefs, let them go. It's part of your learning. You are whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Just let it in. Sending you light and love, abundance, peace, prosperity, joy. Namaste.